News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Stormy Daniels' testimony wrapping up today. Trump team hitting her hard. Some in the media called it risky. I think it was the Journal, Wall Street Journal, that said it was a little bit risky. Maybe it was the Fox News coverage from an attorney who's not involved, I think. Point being is their female attorney, Susan Necklace. It's a bizarro name, right? Some say it's Nichelis, some say Necklace, whatever. Tomato, tomato. Anyway, listen to the garbage that came out today about this porn star. Number one, she said she wanted to tell her story, but yet she sold it. She had a book deal for $800,000. She sold the story for $1 million. She got $130,000 for the hush money. She's selling candles. Saint. What is it called? This is unbelievable. She has a photo of her. Well, she did a tour called Make America Horny Again, where she toured across America, stripping undoubtedly, that featured a picture of her and Trump on the golf course at the meeting they had. She, as yesterday it came out that she said she hated Trump, which is absolutely horrific, according to one of the fake news CNN's chief legal analysts. Says this is horrific. It shows she hates him. She admitted to hating him, which shows that that basically says I'll lie, I'll cheat, I'll do whatever it is to get this man in jail. I hate him. I'll do whatever it takes. It just shows how biased she is in this thing, and you're not supposed to be like that if you want to actually convince the jury. Second of all, the lady who testified today was his accountant, I believe, bookkeeper, and she went with him to the White House. Beautiful young lady. I say young, she's probably in her 30s or 40s, Madeline Westerhout. She said she would listen to this, because she went with him to the White House. She said she felt guilty because many nights she would go to bed before Donald J. Trump went to bed, finishing calls for the night. He was up later than his top aides that were half his age. See this? And we all know that old man Joe ain't doing that. So also, the special investigator pointed out that Daniels said she's made a career out of inventing sex scenes. She directed and wrote 150 porno movies, and she also starred in 100 some odd as well. So the point being is she can make up all sorts of stories about sex. That's her job. That's her career. Susan Necklace, the attorney for Trump, also noted that, and by the way, you got to have a female beating up on a female, otherwise it looks really bad if it's a male on female, which is why she's there. And she apparently did a really good job of destroying Stormy Daniels' testimony and credibility today, which is critical. Although all it really matters is the book errors, not the salaciousness. But they have to destroy this witness who they used to try to, the prosecution used to try to beat up Trump, make Trump look bad, and just hurt his image, which is what this is designed to do. Clearly, many people think there's no way there's going to be a conviction on this unless it's just the jury hates Trump as well and just has it in for him. Pray to God that doesn't happen. But Necklace also said in your book, Stormy, you said you made him your B word because you're powerful, right? And Stormy says, I used to think so. No. You make yourself look like the powerful one. She didn't say that part, but I'm saying that. Stormy's also making money off her story still. She's selling merchandise right now on her Stormy Daniels store online. And she says she's selling Saint Stormy, or Stormy Saint of Indictments candle in a Christ-like dress on a devotional candle, like the Catholics use, So the idea that she's a victim, and she also said, I had to tell my story. Really? Then why did you stick your hand out for $130,000 for hush money and $800,000 for a book? You didn't have to tell your story by getting paid, making millions. All you had to do was go out and hold a press conference or have a couple interviews where you didn't get paid. Slate Magazine, they revealed, tried to interview her, and they weren't paying, so she didn't talk to them. She didn't want to tell her story. She wanted to make money off of her story. And she sounds less credible. To me, she sounds like she made up the whole thing. I swear to you. I used to think, it probably happened. Now I don't think it happened. This woman's a liar. She contradicted herself on so many things in previous testimonies and public statements. Oh, here is, by the way, I'm going to put out the number right now for you to call in at. Do you believe Stormy Daniels? Do you believe her? I don't, as of right now. And do you think the wheels... I don't see her getting her credibility back with me as far as whether she did actually have relations with the president or not. Do you believe this? Do you believe Stormy Daniels? And do you think the wheels are falling off this case? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Do you believe Stormy Daniels, and do you actually think the wheels on this case are starting to fall off? as I do. So another thing is the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, and he still is her lawyer. Michael Cohen and her lawyer, the same one he has now, Keith Davidson, they were talking on the phone. Michael Cohen recorded everything, which is totally unethical as an attorney, which is why he's been disbarred. He was jailed for 3 years for multiple things. Anyways, this is the phone call between Stormy Daniels' then and now attorney and Michael Cohen, and here's Stormy Daniels' attorney telling him, listen to this.
I would be the least bit surprised if he comes out and says, you know what, Stormy Daniels, she wanted this money more than you can ever imagine. I remember hearing her on the phone saying, you Keith Davidson, you better settle this story, because if he loses this election, and he's going to lose, if he loses this election, we lose all leverage. This case is worth zero.
She literally wanted to leverage her position and get as much money out of Trump and get this settled before he wins or loses in 2016. This was basically an extortion plot. Now, whether it was a genuine extortion, that's not the problem. She's not on trial for that, and she may need to be on trial for that. But the point being is, this was played in court today, thank goodness. It showed that she was all about getting as much money as she could. So this idea that she's a victim, that she blacked out, that Trump may have raped her, as we talked about yesterday, is completely bogus. Completely bogus. Yeah, he claims that she told him to settle this effing case. Settle it now, before he wins or loses. Stormy also said in her testimony today, I asked for money to tell my story. I asked for money to tell my story. No. You didn't want to tell your story. You wanted to make money off of some kind of a story, which I now believe I believe she made it up. This whole thing is ridiculous. And by the way, even if it's true, I don't believe her anymore, because she's done so much overt, over-the-top money-making and, pay me for my story, leverage it now. That's not a victim. Victims don't act like that. Did you know, by the way, this happened over 20 years ago? Did you know that? No. Okay, the alleged crime is the books for the Trump campaign. By the way, the alleged crime took place in 2017. Do you know when the election was? 2016. That's number one, and that's something that it gets overlooked a lot. I've heard it mentioned a lot, but I've also heard it overlooked a lot. So this crime supposedly took place in 2017, even though the election was 2016. Number two, Stormy bedded down with him, allegedly. I don't believe her anymore. Stormy claims to have bedded down with him. It was like literally almost 2 decades ago, or over 2 decades ago from right now. So she purportedly had an affair with the president of the United States, or a sexual encounter with him, more than 20 years ago, and she came to them saying, I'm going to tell my story unless you pay me. This is what this is. It totally is extortion to me. Now, NDAs happen all the time. By the way, the defense went too far today. They went too far in trying to push this whole thing. You know why they went too far? Because that's why, they were supposed to possibly have Karen McDougal on. That's the former Playboy bunny that is supposedly had an affair with Trump. They were literally going to bring her on. The prosecution announced today that they weren't putting her on. Do you know why they announced today that they weren't putting her on? Because they pushed it too far with Stormy. They realized the idea of porn, sex, and president bedding down with some porn star, or in this case a Playboy bunny, that it would be so obvious and over the top that all it's being done to do here, all it's being designed to do, is to trash Trump and make him look bad, make him look like a dirty, filthy man that must have done some kind of a crime. We've got to indict him on something. So they changed their mind today at the last minute. And by the way, do you see this, the defense? Have you ever heard of a defense not having the list of who they're going to be cross-examining until the day before? That's how this is. Hey, good luck. Get ready. You're going to be cross-examining this person. But up till the trial and up till the day before each witness, you got to prepare for witnesses that won't even show up because you don't know who they're asking. Isn't this insane? And then you don't get to know as the trial goes along, okay, I know they're having this person. I don't know when they're going to put him in, but I know they're having them. So I got to tweak my approach because of this or that. You can't even defend yourself properly. That's what this is all designed to do. Coming up next on the Chris Crock Show, asking you two things. Do you believe Stormy Daniels? I don't anymore. And do you think the wheels are falling off of this case as I do? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Coming up next on the Chris Crock Show, the other cases with Trump, particularly I want to talk about the New York one where they tried to get Trump to pay a $454 million bail for doing what everybody that does real estate in New York does, according to Kevin O'Leary, a nonpartisan Shark Tank businessman. And remember the people that loaned him the money? Deutsche Bank said there was no crime. He paid them in full. They never did anything wrong. They did their own. He never did anything wrong. They did their own research, and it was fine. But that judge has done something that actually the Judge Arthur Engoron, that crazy leftist activist type judge, he's done something that just came to light right before the trial happened. He did something that puts this entire case in jeopardy. Every single case is falling. It's amazing. All that next to the Chris Crock Show. I'll tell you about that at News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is a number. That's 800-288-9227. Oh, coming up at 8:30. You don't want to miss this. Listen closely. We're going to talk to two UTD students. They're Jewish. They have been disgustingly harassed on the UTD campus by Jew haters at UT freaking D. We're going to talk to two of our Jewish friends. One's a freshman and one is a graduate student. And they're both Jewish, and the disgusting things that have happened to them, the texts, all sorts of stuff that's going to shock you, and especially happening at UTD of all places. It shocks me. All that's coming up at 8:30 on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Thank you very much. Everybody saw what happened today. I don't think we have to do any explaining. I'm not allowed to anyway, because this judge is corrupt. He's a corrupt judge. This judge, what he did and what his ruling was, is a disgrace. Everybody saw what happened today. He's a corrupt judge, and he's totally conflicted. And I got to get back on the campaign trail. I'm not supposed to be here. We are so innocent. There's never been anything like it. Read every single analyst, legal analyst. I'm innocent, and I'm being held in this court with a corrupt judge who's totally conflicted. Take a look at his conflict. It's a disgrace to the city of New York, to the state of New York, and to the country. Thank you very much.
That's President Trump. He only made that quick statement today. He did not get into details like he's done in previous quick or impromptu press conferences. But he did speak out, and that's what he said today. Now, a little bit more on this. The question I'm asking you questions is, do you believe Stormy Daniels? Do you believe what she says happened? Do you believe her story? And do you think the wheels on this case are falling off like I do? 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227 on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. By the way, a lot of these cases are falling apart. You have what just came out in the past 24 hours is Judge Arthur Engoron, that total leftist hack, who is hearing this case and said Trump's got to come up with $454 million in bond, which is pathetic. And Kevin O'Reilly from Shark Tank, he's very, very nonpartisan. He said that this is what every real estate person does. It's going to destroy all real estate developers and developing in the city of New York if this stands. And the fact that they're doing this is going to do that and question everything that we do, because he's a real estate guy there too. And number two, there is no crime. The Deutsche Bank is the one who he allegedly deceived, and Deutsche Bank says, no, he didn't deceive us at all. The loan's been paid in full. He met the terms. He never did anything wrong, and we have no complaint. And we would do business with him again. So there's no victim. It literally is no victim. Now, that whole case is in jeopardy now, that one. You know why? Because a high-profile New York real estate lawyer, this is from NBC News, his law license was once suspended, says he approached this judge, Judge Engoron, as he was presiding over Trump's civil fraud case and gave unsolicited advice on the case. You cannot do that. That's called ex parte communications. You cannot, during the trial, during the considerations, during any of these things at the trial or at the pre-hearing or at the bail, you cannot talk to people that are outside of the actual case, the attorneys, and that's ex parte. He did that. The whole case is now in jeopardy, and that is not a joke. And in fact, it's being investigated, NBC News says, by New York State Office of Court Administration. I'm sorry, let me refer that. The spokesperson for the New York State Office of Court Administration says no ex parte conversation concerning this matter Well, he says that nothing occurred, but he's defending him. But listen to this. It's going to now be investigated by the New York State Commission on Judicial Conduct. And they're going to see if it was violated, and if it is, that puts the whole case in jeopardy. We also know that the documents case, which was literally, from what I heard from people I actually trust, the documents case out of Mar-a-Lago was the one case that actually had some possibilities of getting Trump in trouble. That has been indefinitely delayed. And what just came out about that one, as you know, too, or as you may not know, but you probably know unless you've been living under a rock for 48 hours, is the documents where we saw that picture showing top secret classified, SCI clearance, white and red sheets covering cover letters. None of those were in Trump's files. The FBI took those, removed all the classified documents, put them somewhere, and staged that photo. It was a fake photo. None of those documents you saw were actually in his files. They staged it. And they made it look like it was real, and it was reported as real, and the FBI wanted that. They did it again. They rigged something to look real that was not real. Moreover, they've lost the order of those documents. Those placeholders were not put back properly, and those documents are not in the right order, and they have literally put this case in jeopardy. In addition to this being put on a hold indefinitely, the D.C. case with the very liberal Judge Chutkan in Washington, D.C., in that circuit, that case is being delayed also, and that one will not get adjudicated and finished. Not even the trial won't even start most likely until after the election. So you have three of those cases. The only one, and the Georgia one, is going in front of the Georgia Court of Appeals or something of that nature, and they're going to possibly they're probably going to kick Big Fanny off. Big Fanny's going to be kicked off. They're going to review that, whether she should be removed. And number two, they're also going to decide whether they want to do a dismissal. That case is indefinitely on hold, too. That will not be going. So the only case that has a chance is this joke of a case with a porn star who had no business going up there other than saying, did you have an agreement, yes or no? It's about bookkeeping, not about porn and sex. So this whole thing is a disgrace, all right? As promised, up next, two UTD students who are Jewish UTD students have been disgustingly harassed. They've been followed on campus. They've had vile, disgusting things texted to them, said to them. Can you imagine being a Jewish woman right now on the campus of UTD and being followed by a terrorist? That's what you are. If you harass a Jew, if you threaten them, if you harass them or threaten them because they are Jewish, you are violating their civil rights. But moreover, if you're coercing or coercing or threatening violence or committing violence to get achieve political means, which they are, they're terrorists. That's terrorism. And I will not stand. And by the way, some of these Jew haters sent her texts. I don't know how they got their number. We're going to find out. But there's two UTD students, a brave freshman and a brave grad student, and they are being harassed because they're Jewish, and I will not stand. And I want you to know, because it's happening right here at a university none of us thought this would. I told her, I talked to her a little bit, and I said, I thought this would be at UNT, not here, at UTD. She goes, nope, it's at UTD. I'm like, are you kidding me? We're going to talk about that and why it's over there, too, what's going on with that. All that's next. I have texts that she has had sent to her from Jew haters on the campus. I'm going to put them up on my Twitter feed. She's given me permission to, and on my Facebook page to show you what they're getting texted by Jew haters. We're going to get to that coming up next. I'm going to put it on my Twitter feed at Chris Kroc Show and Facebook at Chris Kroc Show, ChrisKrok. That's next.
One of the rules was don't talk to Zionists, don't talk to Jews. We're both hurt. We're both struggling. My family is dead. Some of the people that have family in Gaza, must be struggling. Like, there's two sides to this coin, and they just won't see that side.
Okay, we have the UTD student who said that, and a press conference was held at UTD. I could not believe my eyes when I saw that Jew haters on the campus of UTD, they had this Occupy garbage with tents that was illegal. I'm grateful our awesome UTD police, our great Richardson police, and Collin County sheriffs broke it up and arrested 21 people that were illegally squatting, protesting, and trying to have another one of these hate camps. I'm looking at some of these revolting texts and messages that our Jewish friends at UTD have gotten, but I want to talk to them directly, and I'm grateful for them. They're brave, and they're also busy because once they've come out, and this is what everybody needs to do, is come out and share this. Come out and share it. My job is to expose it because I will not stand for this crap, and I know you won't either. So I want to share this. I want to talk to our two students. One is Jade Steinberg. He is a freshman at UTD. Imagine being a freshman and having Jew hatred when you're brand new. I can't even imagine. Number two, Ofer Trugeman, and I'll let her pronounce it. I'm sure I'm butchering it by accident, but she is a UTD grad student. First of all, hello, guys, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Yes, that's us.
Yes, it is. Okay, how do you pronounce it? Jade Steinberg, that sounds right to me. Is that good? Am I right on that?
Yes.
And then, is it Ofer Trugeman? Sorry?
Ofer.
Ofer, thank you. Thank you. Trugeman?
Trugeman, yeah.
Thank you very much. I got you. Okay, so tell me a few questions on this. How did all this start? When did it all start? We know that the worst terrorist attack in Holocaust-esque attack on Jewish population was done since the Holocaust on October 7th in Israel. Tell me how this started with what you experienced on the campus at UTD, and when did it start, and how did it start?
So I think we have to go back all the way to when the war broke out. That Saturday, I got a call from my mom, and she said, you have to turn on the news. You have to listen to what's happening right now. Like, we can't reach some of our family in Israel. And I was like, what? Like, what's going on? So then I turned on, the news, and I was trying to contact everyone that I know in Israel. And it's hard because I'm Moroccan, so my family is super big. I have 50 cousins. And getting a hold of all of them was really rough, but some of them didn't answer. Some of them actually ended up going to the Nova Festival and unfortunately didn't make it. But just being here in the United States and having to go through that was very mentally taxing. And then having to go to campus and see all those, pro-Palestine riots that weren't even pro-Palestine at that point. It was pro-Hamas. They were justifying it. They were saying that everything that they did, raping children, raping women, burning children, taking, hostages. It was all justified for their resistance, and it was just so crazy to experience. And it was actually, I think, that set the hostile environment on campus.
So wait a minute, you're saying that as soon as the war broke out, with Israel standing up to itself to the mass homicides, rapes, abductions, torture, brutal murder, beheadings, everything that is it's wicked and evil. I've called it satanic. A cult, a satanic cult. When you had this happen to you, you're saying that instantaneously when Israel started defending itself and attacking the enemy who attacked them and broke the ceasefire at the very beginning of all this, you're saying that you were getting hostilities on the UTD campus immediately when Israel started defending itself?
Yeah, it was. So the war broke out on Saturday. By Monday, there were people wearing keffiyehs and chanting Free Palestine, anything for the resistance, all this stuff. We actually ended up holding a vigil for all the lost lives that were at the Nova Festival and didn't make it, or all the hostages that were taken. And we have videos of that are dead. Literally, they took bodies that were killed or broken and took them into Gaza, and we had videos of that.
Yes.
And people on campus were saying anything for resistance is justified. This is for the resistance. This is and then they came up to our vigil and they started talking to us about this, and they're no, we have people dying. Y'all are bombing us.
They say we and us. Who are these people?
I guess some of them said that they have family in Gaza, and then some of them are just pro-Palestinian and just hate the fact that Israel went and started defending itself after the Hamas attack.
Okay, Jade, did you have the same experience where you immediately were being verbally attacked? And by the way, at this time, Ofer, no harassments or threats to you at this point. Is that accurate? And Jade, how was it for you at the outset of this first several weeks or several days after the worst terrorist attack on Israeli and Jewish people in history since the Holocaust?
Well, first I want to say thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. You're a freshman. I'm appalled at this crap going on our campuses. It's nothing but crap, and it's garbage, and it's vile. And number two, I'm disgusted that a freshman, my son is a junior at at one of our campuses here in the Metroplex, and he was at one of the community colleges. I'll be damned if somebody's going to talk to my kid that way, and I'm going to come over there, and nothing's going to go well on that. And I'm telling you, I ain't going to be physical, but I'm going to be going to the chancellor. I'm going to be going to everything to the top, and I thank God I'm the media, because guess what? My job is to treat you like my son. This crap ain't happening. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm mad.
It's all good. And frankly, I'm very frustrated too. The first half of my first semester at college was great. I would be going to the library almost every single day. And then after October 7th, everything shifted from this joyous place of learning to this dark place of hate. And almost right away, like Ofer said, we saw these demonstrations, these protests. It was incredible. The way they set these up right after was so, it almost seemed well prepared.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you're saying, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I also want to add that for me, I hadn't really established myself as someone like Jewish on campus yet, but even going to class was hard. And Ofer, who had already established herself as this proud Jew on campus.
Good, by the way. Good, by the way, Ofer. Good. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but good for you. Good on you, Ofer. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying Ofer almost immediately started receiving threats right after October 7th.
What are the threats? Now, how does this work? How does this work, both of you guys? How does this work? You may not be, Ofer, you have family in Israel, so I'll say but also I'll speak of you, Jade, because if our Jews are ever persecuted again like they're being right now, they have a home which they didn't have before the Holocaust. And your home, if you will, is being attacked, and for your homeland being attacked, your people, for better lack of term, are being attacked. And how does it work that you're picked on and you're threatened? How does that happen? How does that work? Your people are attacked and slaughtered and raped, and you're being attacked? Is that what I'm hearing?
I feel like a lot of people on campus have this sort of complex that by picking on a Jew on campus, it makes it, or it helps in some way whatever's going on in the Middle East. I feel like they are.
You're the Jew that's in the military that's attacking the people in Gaza, who some of these people are from there, I'm hearing?
I think what you have to differentiate how America has. There's two different problems here. There's the Middle East problem, and there's an American campus problem. And I think it's really hard it's hard for some people to differentiate between going to the Middle East and fighting and being a part of the war, and being here and having to navigate through anti-Semitism or any phobia or tism that is around.
Are these folks from the Middle East? Is that why they think they can get away with this? I mean, how could people think they can get away with this openly?
I think
your signal's a little bit broken up over here. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I guess I was kind of mumbling. I think some of them do have family in the Middle East, but I can't imagine that all of them have family in the Middle East. I wouldn't put it past them that, some of them do have family there, but I think the way that they try to justify the killing is in whatever happened, the atrocities that happened on October 7th is just unimaginable.
And we're going to take a pause. Can you guys hold in a second? We're going to do a quick pause and come back with one more segment with you, if you don't mind, because there's too much to unfold here, and I want to get it all out. Is that okay?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you this. Did you have something, Jade?
I can come. I can say it after. We come back.
Okay. All right. If you can remember, I always forget.
It's all good.
What's the population of UTD that is treating you this way? 5%, 2%, 20%?
I guess it's kind of hard to put a percentage on it, but if we had to guess, like probably more than the percentage of Jews on campus.
Oh, definitely more than the percentage of Jews on campus. There are estimated to be around 200 Jews on campus, and the number of pro-Palestinian supporters number in the thousands.
Oh, wow. Thousands of pro-Palestinian. Are these just young? We're seeing a lot of these young, dumb, Ivy League, elite, white suburbanite kids who hate themselves, hate America. They're taught that Jews are oppressors because of this, what's it called, DEI crap. Is that what you're seeing there?
I think that, of course, UTD is not an Ivy League school by any means. It's a research institution. I feel like a lot of the students have found almost a calling to liberate in their own imaginary head, to liberate whatever is going on in the Middle East, so that by attacking a Jew on campus, by verbally harassing a Jew on campus, they're making the situation better for themselves.
Hey, have you heard any of them say they want to? Have you heard any of them say they want to free Palestine from Hamas?
No.
They like Hamas. It's interesting. They like people who are corrupt, who kill their own people, who use them as human shields and starve them and steal from them to get weapons to kill Jews. Let me put you guys on hold, and that's my political statement, not yours. But I don't want to put any words into your mouth. You guys are students trying to do your job and live your lives, and you're being attacked. I want to talk about the specifics coming up next. Jay, you want to say your thing? I want to get that out, but I also want to talk about the specifics of what they're doing to you, what they're saying to you. Ophir was kind enough to share some of the vile texts and tweets and messages that she's had sent to her from people who have said gross, disgusting things. Death to Jews. I mean, this is, and I've got a phone number here. This is a terroristic threat. Well, I'll talk to you in a second, guys. Can you stand by then?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Stand by. And this is, of course, Chris Kroc Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, 800-288-WBAP is our number. We're going to talk to Jade and Ophir, UTD students being disgustingly attacked, followed, terrified. It's terrorism, in my complete opinion. That's coming up next on the Chris Kroc Show. I'm just floored it's happening here at UTD in Texas and in Richardson, not Dallas, but they call it UTD. That's next on the Chris Kroc Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. I want Jade to finish off what he was saying. Jade Steinberg and Ophir. I don't want to say it right, Ophir. Correct me again if I'm wrong. Ophir, say your last name again. I'm so sorry. Tujaman. Thank you. I apologize. Okay, so Jade, finish up what you were saying about the Jew hatred and the anti-Semitic stuff that's happening to you on campus, etc.
I want to say, first off, that free speech is very important to me. And unfortunately, what we're seeing on a lot of these college campuses isn't free speech. It is, anyone who's taken a government course knows that free speech is governed by time, place, and manner. And the manner of which they are calling for their cause is what is truly troubling. The manner of which they are calling for a violent uprising, they're calling for they don't want any Zionists on campus.
I'm a Zionist, and my son's a Zionist, so they don't want Christians on campus either?
They do not want any Zionists on campus.
So these Jew haters and Zionist haters, so does this mean only people that believe that Hamas is awesome are allowed on UTD's campus, according to them? In their own wishings here, I guess, their own rules.
I believe that there is definitely a difference between like straight up supporting Hamas and not being for Israel. There's other reasons why people can be against like the state of Israel, but the main issue is the way in which they're calling for an intifada and to globalize this intifada,
which is a violent uprising to kill, rape, and kill, Jews and any Zionists.
If you tuned in like a couple years ago and you heard about all the suicide bombings that were taking place,
that's the Intifada.
Was the second Intifada.
That's the Intifada, suicide bombings.
And they're calling to globalize that, to make that everywhere, not just in the Middle East, but here in America as well.
Ofer, I'm seeing you were kind enough to give me the text you got from these phone numbers. I put them right out raw. I didn't edit anything out. Death to Jews you got. Suck my fapper, which is, I guess, their member. Free Palestine. And somebody named Oral Shalom 007 sent you this message with a picture of her. And you fat Zionist S-word, intimidated because of I don't know what that is, a piece of coal?
A rock.
It's a what?
A rock.
Rock. And then I hope removing the rock, whatever that means, can bring back the fact that the Israeli-issued Apache helicopter killed its own citizens that day, and there's even blah, blah, blah videos showing it. And then fat effing hamburger. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound good. So, anyways, has the university been helping you in this to work with you, or what?
Yes, I reported those messages and those profane texts, and they've actually... I guess try to track down the numbers and try to the Instagram post when they talked about the hamburger. It's like a fake account, so they couldn't track it down, or they couldn't track whoever wrote that down.
Let me tell you what I would recommend you do. Well, go ahead and finish real fast because we got to go. But I want to recommend what you should do to get justice. But go real quickly.
No, you go ahead. That was all.
You're in the city of Richardson at UTD, not in Dallas, but they call it Dallas. Go to the Richardson police, give them these are threats. They will figure out how they got sent and who they got sent. And if they have to, they've done this with other anti-Semitism in our country right now. The FBI will be able to track it down for them. That's been done by police departments across the country in the past several weeks. I've read about and seen. So I would really file a police report. These are terroristic threats. These are illegal. And it's also, I don't know if we have hate crimes in Texas or how it works, but these are hate crimes and terroristic threats. I would go to the police department, file a report, produce everything. They'll be able to track it down, I swear to you, is my understanding, okay? They have forensics.
Yeah, I'll refile. I already filed it once, but I'll refile again.
Do it again, and if you're in Collin County Sheriff Jeff Skinner's really good on this from what I've seen in this whole case. Last but not least, I want you to know that we stand with you, and I've told you, I know you're busy, you got a million people reaching out to you right now, but you call me, you got my number personally, you call me, you text me, and I will be there to support you, and I will share that with my listeners. We're not going to let this go on. This is disgusting. I appreciate you guys. Keep your stand strong and know that we're with you. You've been followed at class too, right? Or on the way to class?
I was followed. Not to class, I was followed to my apartment.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'm going to talk to you off the air, and I'll share that with people coming up next real fast. I appreciate you. Stand by, guys. Stand by. Thank you for your call. We're not going to stand for this. Coming up next, we're going to talk to a woman, Genevieve Collins, who ran for Congress, and she is in charge of the Americans for Prosperity Texas, brand new poll on illegal immigration. She joins me next on the Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.